We have ourselves a little bit of a trend in today's video. We are having an all Manchester special. We already knew that we were playing Manchester City in the Premier League in the second game in today's episode. But it turns out we got drawn against Manchester United. And currently, we're level going into the second leg. So, see if we can go one step further this year. How are we doing, everybody, and welcome to part 28 of Club 3 here on MyCareer on FM23. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where, as mentioned, it's an all-Manchester special. Man United in the Champions League quarter-final second leg first, followed by a Premier League game at home against Manchester City. And if you're excited to see how we get on in both of those games, do not forget to leave a like on the video for me and subscribe so you don't miss any of the Football Manager nonsense coming out of this face right here. Since you were last with us, things have been going quite well. I've just realised I am on the complete wrong screen. Normally, I start on this screen so you can see all of the lovely stats. Aren't they all lovely? In terms of goals scored, we are still the best in the league with 89 and fourth best defence, which is a trend. Again, we haven't improved quite as much as I was hoping in that department, but we are still playing well. Our goal scoring carrying us through. Now, we did actually lose in the FA Cup quarter-final, so we are out of that competition. Sad times. But we didn't lose against Manchester United, so we beat Everton 3-2. That was a tough game, a lot more tough than it should have been. But 2 games in a row where Orlando has scored. Granted, one of them was a penalty, but still. But they are back-to-back draws. Bit of a rough patch. I mean, to call that a rough patch is a bit ridiculous, really, but it is a rough patch compared to how things have been. So, all about the game against Manchester United first, and this is the 11 that will hopefully take us through to our first ever Champions League semi-final. It is Hoy and Haaland goal, Livramento, Fofana, Guardian and Thomas in defence, Veloso and Lavia in the middle with Lethan, Kuchiyara and Shelder up supporting, Pinamonti up front. Although Orlando has scored in the last 2 games, he didn't play well in the last game at all. He scored a penalty, but that was really all he did. So, just doesn't have the confidence at the moment. So, we're going to go into this game, and we're just going to go with what we know in a player who we know is in relatively better form than the other option. So we're going to go with Pinamonti as a result of that. And Lethan comes back in. We have played Cole Palmer recently. He's played okay, but we're going to go with Jay Lethan because in a nice possible way, he's the homegrown boy and he's pretty spectacular if you ask me. Manchester United haven't actually double-checked how they're doing in the league, and I also haven't double-checked how we did the last time we played against them, and we've conceded early on. And the player who had the first shot there, he's the guy we were looking at before we ended up signing. I'm terrible with my players' names, but Tariq Lamptey's going to pass it here. It's this guy here, Nemec. He's the guy who we were originally looking to sign. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at my subs. It's not going to let me right now. We were signing him originally instead of, where is he? Trasoldi, that was him. He was the guy we originally wanted. And he's come back to bite us a little bit there. I mean, it's early on in the game, but United lead in the game and in the tie in total. So we need to pull our fingers out here and we need to get ahead. Big ball forward looking for Pinamonti. Cannot find it. Dal Benford, remember, formerly a player of ours we had on loan. Lumps it forward, but Fofana intercepts. Hoy and Hall now. Goes out to Guardian. Into Lavia. Veloso looking for options. Veloso, although his output of goals and assists is far less in this deeper role, my word, he plays so well there. Like, he's just a consistent, well-oiled machine just ticking away in the background. Pinamonti may have just won a penalty here, which is a great opportunity for us to equalise and get back into the game. We're just waiting for the referee to deliberate on the situation, and he decides that it is indeed a penalty. And we are going to have an opportunity here gifted to us. Pinamonti to take. It is worth pointing out, Orlando in the last game did have a penalty saved, but Orlando, did I say Pinamonti or Orlando? A second ago, so you should really remember. Orlando's the one I meant, which is another reason why I went with Pinamonti, and Pinamonti, it turns out, very much has his head in the game, and it is 1-1 early doors in this game, 2-2 overall. Oh boy, we have a real opportunity here. I know that we have the ability to beat a Manchester United side. However, they are a very, very good side. They've got some fantastic players, both original players in the database and new gens as well. Washington Luiz, Carl Ferguson, Capital. Got my Brazilian Wonder Kids mixed up there. But they are superb players. Makes it too. They are superb players who honestly are just next level. I mean, they are players that if we do, well, I plan to leave Southampton this season. I'm going to put that out there right now. regardless of how this season ends, I do intend to leave Southampton. I'm not going to try and force it like I did last time. We are going to try and plan for next season properly. Pinamonti, so close to making it 2-1 there. Wherever I go, assuming it's a big enough club, you can bet your bottom dollar. Players like Washington, players like Ferguson, Benford, Nemec, even Velasco, Van Duyven. I know he's not a new gen, but he's still very, very good. You can bet your bottom dollar those are players we're going to be looking at when we do make that next step up. Lamptey on the ball here, running forward. United are really testing us at the moment. Veloso gets the ball down, but Van Duyven managed to steal it. And it's put into him, into his path. He tries to chip it over the keeper. And the defence and the goalkeeper really nearly stuff it up. Hoyenhal, he's a very solid goalkeeper, but he does make mistakes. And that very nearly was one. But it is still only 1-1. And to be fair, we have dominated them, but they have, well, in terms of stats, we dominated them, but they have looked the more dangerous in terms of their chances compared to ours. Right, Ferguson into Gray. What a shot that is from the centre-back. It is just over, but what an opportunity that was for them to make something happen. Jay Leathan, he's not injured, but he is very unfit. I think he's going to have to come off at half-time. We are going to take him off just to be on the safe side. Jay Leathan will bring on Cole Palmer, get back into the game. We'll just try and G everyone up as best as we can. I'm not going to go through individuals. We're just going to tell everyone, keep going. You can do it. I believe in you. Generic things. Pinamonti's picked up a yellow card. Excellent. Right, Velasco for Manchester United. Gray looking for options. Goes to Carl Ferguson. We get the tackle in, but it is intercepted. We do win possession back after that, though. Veloso now to Fofana. Fofana goes all the way to Guardian. Guardian, who, if he was playing as a ball-winning defender, would be a 3.5-star defender. I just don't trust him in that role. But he has really stepped up. The early season form he had was not good, but he is looking more and more the part. Right, goes back to Fofana, Guardian. Fofana coming forward, going to Lavia. We're building up play here, and we do this quite well sometimes. Sometimes it does work out, sometimes it doesn't. Big ball over to Pinamonti, though, and it has worked out on this occasion, and we have gone ahead in the tie. It's 2-1 on the night, 3-2 overall. We lead Manchester United, and we have a huge opportunity to go through to our first Champions League semi-final here. Wow. Header down, Cole Palmer, what a pass that is. Pinamonti, the little bit of pace he does have, he just sprints away from his defender. The intelligence and the experience of the 31-year-old just shone through there. Would Orlando have scored that? He can score some fantastic goals. He can score a massive quantity of goals, but I don't know whether he would have been able to score that and put that chance away. But Pinamonti has 2 goals in the game. And we lead, and we have a huge opportunity to go through here. A huge opportunity. We are tiring now. Are tiring massively, so we do need to make some changes. Right. I'm looking at Veloso having to come off. I'm going to bring Tapia on. That feels like the right thing to do. And then I'm looking at Cucciara. He is also very tired. Hector Febre has played well in that attacking midfield position recently. We will bring him on as well. We'll make those 2 changes now. We'll consider other changes after the fact. Luke Thomas is not having a good game. That might be the one of the final changes, just because we want to have players on who are playing well. Right, Slanina on the ball, a former Chelsea man. Goalkeeper, looking for distribution options. Where is he going to go? He goes long. Looking for Van Duyven, does not find him. Fofana's going to go on the end of it. No, Rashford intercepts instead. And Dicker now. Looking for options. Goes to Alvaro Fernandez, who's come on for Dal Benford. Rashford now into Van Duyven. Van Duyven looking for options into Nemec. And the former target, the guy who we had an offer in for, we couldn't afford his wages at the time. And then a week later went to Manchester United, nearly put us to the sword there. Remember, he was involved in the first goal. It would have been heartbreaking for him to score that goal that puts us level again. Lamptey now looking for options. Nemec is in front of him, doesn't go with him, and he loses the ball to Shoulderup. Shoulderup's been in a really bad run of form recently, so if he was to pop up with the goal, it'd be great. But Luke Thomas, who's having a shocking game, bursts forward here, and he goes for the shot. Goes for the shot to try and extend the lead. What a poor decision that was. If he'd have squared it into the box, who knows what would have happened. But we have 10 minutes left to go. Thomas is going to come off. Prince Anning is going to come on. And I'm looking at tiredness for the final substitution. Shoulderup, Livramento, they're both tired. I'm going to go with Livramento. Let's go defensive. Let's go with the sensible substitution rather than just putting on another attacker. We are currently leading Let's focus the boys. We don't want to get distracted. This is fine. This is more than fine. Right, final highlight. It's got to be 5 minutes of additional time. And we have possession. Jimenez now into February. February looking for options. Goes out wide to Anning. Anning looking to get the ball in. Goes into the box. He's running down. Crosses it across. Looking for Cole Palmer. Doesn't find him. Rashford doesn't win the header though. We get the ball again. Cole Palmer over to Jimenez. Into Cole Palmer again. And what a beautiful goal that is from Cole Palmer. And we are going to be through to our first Champions League semi-final as Southampton. Well, the first one to save, just by association of Southampton are the only club that we've been in the Champions League with, obviously. But what a goal this is. Palmer gets it to Jimenez, into Tapia. Tapia just holds on to it. Ball to Palmer on the edge of the area. And what a lovely goal, just in off the crossbar. Was it even a post? Just like, he literally hits that point there where the two meet, the intersection of the two bars. And it is 3-1 on the night. And United have got no time left whatsoever to do anything. But Rashford's going to try and make it happen. Big cross into Van Duyven. Guardian heads clear into Lavia. Good work from Guardian. Kept his composure there. And shoulder up now with the ball. He's lost it. Tariq Lamptey is still on the pitch with an injury for United. But still plugging away. And we could just be about to knock out the 99 treble winners. Guardian's just gone in like an absolute wild man there. He's getting sent off, isn't he? That was a wild tackle. Well, Tapia can play centre-back. So that's what we're going to have to do. And we'll have Lavia just kind of one-man show it in the middle. Yeah. Just have to do that. 2 goals ahead. We've got a little bit of time left to go. Don't think that's going to change anything. It doesn't. We will be out without Guardian in the next leg, though. And that is the disappointing thing. But we go through. And that is the most important thing. Considering the last few games we've had as well, what a performance. And it looks, well, it doesn't look like it's a fact. Arsenal are going through as well. 7-1 aggregate win over Dortmund. 4-1 on the night. My goodness me. So who do we get in the next rounds? Arsenal, the team that knocked us out of the FA Cup. The team that are chasing us in the Champions League. 2 more goals from Andrea Pinamonti, who... he's on just a ridiculous... well, I say he's on a run of form. He's actually not scored in his last 4 games. But before that, look at the run he was on. Absolutely insane. Tresoldi has gone a little bit quiet recently. Well, I say they scored 3 games ago. I'm going to stop talking because apparently I don't know what I'm on about. Veloso still apparently wanted, which I don't think is going to change until someone puts a bid in for him. It's really unfortunate that we've lost Guardian. However, would he be starting? It would be between him and Badiashile more than likely, I would suggest. Right. That's enough of that. Man City next, who are currently 5th. Man United are currently 6th, by the way. That answers that question. But we'll be coming up against Man City. Erling Haaland is fit again. As you can see, he's risen up the goal charts. He and Evan Ferguson are level on goals. Orlando, just because of that early season form, still out front. Jay Leatham, by the way, 2nd best player in the league. And, I mean, our players just dominating the assist charts again. But, yeah, let's see how we do against Manchester City. Currently, we've got a game in hand on Spurs. We've got a 6-point gap. Let's try and make it 9, shall we? Back for the game against Manchester City, and this is the 11 we're going to be using to hopefully get another 3 points in the Premier League. It's Hoyne Haaland goal, Jimenez, Fofana, Badiashile and Thomas in defence, Veloso and Lavia in the middle with Leatham, Kuchera and Shoulder up, supporting Orlando up front. Yes, I'm giving Orlando a run out. Although Pinamonti's been in fantastic form, Orlando needs game time. Pinamonti is more or less leaving next season. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure we're just waiting for him to make his mind up. He's 31. He's going to be 32 next season. We need fresh blood. We've already got that fresh blood. So we just need him to move on, really, because although he's still very, very good, he's not going to get better. He's only going to get worse. So I think putting Orlando in and getting him in these bigger games is the right thing to do, because he just needs to get more football, and we just need him to continue getting better and better and more consistent, and you'll get that with games. So let's get him in today. He has scored a couple recently, so it's not like he's on a barren spell. Let's see what he can do. And hopefully what he can do is score some goals. Kind of like how Brennan Johnson just has. Well, that, if I'm honest, is far from ideal. As is the siren in the background. Don't know if you can hear. Erling Haaland turning to provider there. Really nicely done, actually, but not what we wanted for the start of the game. And it is 1-0 to Manchester City, and we now have it all to do at St Mary's, which is a bit disappointing. We haven't even had a shot yet. Speaking of which, though, we have a corner. Shoulder up to take, who did play well in the last game, so he broke his kind of bad run of form. Big header from Fofana, but it doesn't end up going into the goal. Veloso now looking for options, and Orlando heads in. Veloso shot. Nicely done. The Brazilian wonder kid. What a nice effort there. Veloso with a great opportunity. And Orlando just sticks his head up and just nods it in. Watch this. So Fofana with a great header. I think it's saved by Ederson before he goes anywhere near the post. Veloso gets on the edge of the box here. Comes back in on his stronger right foot. Goes for the shot. And Orlando just directs it past Ederson the other way. Really smart. Really good instincts from Orlando. And it is 1-1. First shot of the game. First goal of the game. Get in there, boys. But Man City come again. Saliba now with the free kick. But they don't make anything of it. Veloso now, who is on the yellow card, into Lethan. Lethan to Kuchiyara. Kuchiyara, who is wanted by both Man City and Liverpool. Incidentally, so is Veloso, wanted by both clubs. So it'll be interesting to see if we have any movements in the summer. Kuchiyara now into Orlando. Orlando has an opportunity for a second. And the former Manchester United youngster has scored a second, but it will be going to VAR. Will it be given? Will it not be given? Let's find out. Mr. Referee, what do we say? Not been given. Heartbroken. Well, let's see how offside it is. That would have been his 40th goal of the season. Oh, it's just run a bit early. Under these new offside rules that are potentially allegedly coming in, that would be onside. But the defender's done him well there. But we're coming back into this game. Like, no one's been said. Jay Lethan with the header just wide. Still yet to make an England debut, Jay Lethan. But Orlando has made his Brazil debut. And in his second game, did score his first goal. So, Brazilian wonder kid doing Brazilian wonder kid things. Thomas now running forward, looking for options ahead of him. He's a bit infield, has his shoulder up. But shoulder up, looking for Orlando. And Orlando breaking through again. Ederson there. And he's crossed it back across goal, Orlando. But shoulder up was too far infield to take advantage of it. Lovely cut back from Orlando. Didn't try and be silly. Didn't try and go for the shot. Tried to be selfless. But shoulder up's positioning was just not very good there for where he's meant to be playing. Kuchiyara now on the ball on the next attack. Out wide to Lethan. Lethan. We are swarming forward here. And it still doesn't go in. Orlando's having opportunity after opportunity. And everything is going against him at the moment. Jimenez just completely takes out Erling Haaland. I don't like how that's going. We didn't get a red card. I was worried about the animation there. However, I thought that was going to be in. Jimenez not having the best of games. Neither is Badiashile out of interest. So I can already see a double substitution brewing in my mind. Right, Kuchiyara. And probably would need a good game here. He's not played that well in the last couple. Lethan did give the ball away there, but won it back immediately. Fofana now into Lavia. Lavia out to Lethan. Lethan. Kuchiyara. He's going to go for a while. He runs in a little bit fast and then puts it in the back of the net. I said he needed a good game. He's scored and it is 2-1 to Southampton. Lethan gets the assist. It's not much of an assist. It was just a normal pass, but he'll still get it. It'll still pad his stats out in a good way. I don't mean that in a negative, but he gets the ball here. I mean, he sees the movement, but he doesn't actually see the movement at all. Kuchiyara gets the ball and makes it himself. You think he's going to go for a while. He instead just takes that extra touch, wrong foots the defenders, and before they can close in on him, boom, bottom corner, 2-1. Happy, happy days. This would give us a 4, 5, 6 point gap. 6 point gap with a game to go to match Tottenham's current game total. Arsenal, by the way, losing their last game, and Orlando has got his second goal. My voice is going a bit weird because I feel a cough coming on and I'm trying to suppress it. Orlando does get his second. It's our third. I was talking about Arsenal bottling things. Orlando hasn't bottled anything. I said he needed the opportunity in a big game today. I've given it to him. And it's an awful mistake from Ederson. And Orlando, striker's instincts, capitalises on it. And it is now 3-1 in the 38th minute. My goodness me. But yeah, Arsenal bottling their last game. So they are now behind Tottenham by 3 points. They do have a game in hand though. So they win their game in hand. They will be tied with Tottenham on 81 points. But what a good first half that is. What a fantastic performance. Carl Jimenez, not good enough. Fofana's been okay. Badiashile's turned things around, so he's staying on. He is absolutely staying on, but I am going to take Jimenez off. He did have a wild lunge earlier, so I just don't trust him, if I'm being completely honest. So we'll bring him on. We'll have a quick word with him. pat him on the head, tell him he's a good boy, and let's go for the second half, shall we? And let's see whether we can continue the game that we've had so far. 3-1, fantastic. Kuchiara going for a worldie of a free kick there. Just could not quite get it to go low enough at the last moment. But yeah, fantastic. This would give us a massive gap with only, what was it, 3 or 5 games to go, something like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. I say it's ridiculous. It's not like we won the league last year. Shoulder up now, whipping it in, looking at it for Jay Leathan. Jay Leathan, I mean, Edison has just given up. He's having such a bad game. He just didn't even bother moving then. Mikalenko's having an awful one at left back as well, or left wing back. He's having a terrible, terrible game out there. Just not having any joy whatsoever. Right, Veloso into Leathan. Leathan back to Veloso. Look at the play here. Looking for shoulder up. Doesn't find him, but Thomas is there on the rebound. Looking to get it back in. He does, but Saliba intercepts. But Orlando steals the ball off of him and tries to force it in the back of the net. Orlando just not giving anyone a moment's notice there. Trying to force a hat-trick out of the Man City defence. They're not letting him have it at the moment. I mean, the 3-1 down. It's not like one more goal is going to matter. I know it does. You know, obviously. But desperately trying to get that extra goal. The right-hand side for us is just having a problem because Tino is not having a good game at all. But we are tiring nearer the front. Jay Leathan is going to come off. We are going to bring on Cole Palmer. We're going to bring on Holdford for shoulder up as well. And we haven't... player on the bench. The player who isn't on the bench, I really want there to be, but it really matter. Kuchiara is tiring, but I will leave him for now. I'm thinking Romeo Lavia maybe for James Ward-Prowse. I just want to give James Ward-Prowse game time towards the end of the season, and he's a free kick master, as is Michael Holdford, as we've discovered. Well, I say we've discovered, I've discovered, you've not seen it yet. Right, let's do that, and let's see whether we can hold on, or maybe even extend this lead. I would like to get another goal, personally. That'd make me really happy. Right, Tino Livramento, getting it to Cole Palmer. Cole, back to Veloso, into Kuchiara. Kuchiara loses the ball to Phil Foden. Erling Haaland now looking to make things happen, the Man City captain. Durica, one of the central defenders, or Durisa, I don't really know. Tries to get it to Brennan Johnson, can't quite get there. Hoyenhal now passing the ball around nicely with the defenders. Luke Thomas now into Kuchiara. Big ball looking for Orlando, does not find him. We are desperately trying to get Orlando his hat-trick here, but it's just not happening at the moment. Haaland gets it down to Phil Foden. Phil Foden into Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson cannot get a goal. Hoyenhal holds on to it nicely. Good game from Hoyenhal. Yes, he conceded early on, but he has played quite well, and I am very happy about that. Right, final change. Kuchiara comes off, and we'll bring Hector Febre on, and that will do it, I think. We've got less than 10 minutes to go. A 2-goal advantage. Could still stuff this up, but it's looking good so far. Considering how they started out the gate with all of the chances that they had, we have really not been troubled by them much in this second half. There is obviously still a little bit of time for that to happen. 2 quick goals in succession would change it. Phil Foden is in, and it's into Erling Haaland, and they've scored one of them. It's not over yet. It really isn't. I'm going to tell the boys to focus. Don't need to lose sight of the goal. The goal is 3 points. Don't need to see their stinking goal again. And they've got a late free kick, and it's Erling Haaland over it. Shoot or pass? What will he do? I mean, it's Erling Haaland. He loves a goal. Went for the shot, but Hoyenhal makes the save. International colleagues, of course. Hoyenhal and Haaland both play for the Norwegian national team. So, both European Championship winners at international level, which is ridiculous to think that Hoyenhal, as much as I do like him, is an international tournament winning goalkeeper. That does blow my mind just a little bit. But all the momentum at the moment is with Manchester City going into the last few minutes. So, we do need to be careful. Right, Veloso looking to get the ball to someone. They pass it around a bit into Holdford now. Holdford into Veloso again. Veloso to Febre. Febre into Cole Palmer. Looking for Orlando. And is he going to get his hat-trick? He is going to get his hat-trick. Finally, he gets it. And Orlando settles the game. Just as Erling Haaland had given us a bit of nerves, in comes Orlando just to go, sir, the crown is no longer yours. What a player he has been this season. The goals he has scored. Yes, he had that really bad Barron spell, but that makes it even more impressive that he's got the goal total that he does. He goes up to 25, I think, 25 or 26 goals for the season with this performance. The man's incredible, genuinely incredible. He has scored a hat-trick, hasn't he? Yes, he has. In my head, I was thinking, actually, I know he had one disallowed. I was thinking, does he have the hat-trick or not? He does have the hat-trick, and I'm very happy about it. Right, we're into 1 minute of added time. They need 2 to get a point. I don't think it's going to happen. Stranger things have happened, but I highly doubt it is going to happen. But Man City do have the ball here, trying to get it forward, looking for teammates left, right and centre. It's whipped in, looking for Haaland, but Fofana heads it clear. Thomas heads it clearer, but it's back with the right back for Man City. And it's bundled around everywhere, and we might have given away a penalty late on here. It will be too late to make much of a difference to the game. But I think Badiashile has given it away. It might have been Fofana possibly, but one of the guys at the back have given away a penalty. It's Badiashile on Phil Foden, and it's going to be Erling Haaland to make it 4-3. We are in the final minute. I can't imagine there'll be much time left after the penalty, but you never know. But Manchester City step up with Erling Haaland. They, of course, do convert it. Haaland will grab the ball, and we will restart. It's his 39th of the season. Remember, Orlando is on like 41 or something like that now. But that is going to do it. Even conceding a couple of late goals, it doesn't matter. And apparently, we've qualified for the Champions League with that performance, which is obviously very, very good. We're top of the league. We've got a big gap. As you can see, confirmed it is a 6-point gap now. We've got a goal difference of plus 60. Spurs only behind us by 7. So they must be really going to give it. Another poor defensive performance. It's the thing that's been killing us here, really. But it is what it is. I mean, we've got budgets already. Wage budget, fine. I think that's about what we're on. Yeah. In that region, a couple of 100,000 difference, which is what we had anyway. But 72 million difference in the transfer budget. That'll do plenty. Trent Alexander-Arnold trying to get Veloso to come for 76 million. I've not seen anything about Cucciara recently, so maybe, just maybe, teams aren't going to try and go for him because they know he's not going to go anywhere. Why I've gone into a press conference, I don't know. That's just me going on autopilot with the games I play in between, because that's the first thing I normally do, just to get it out of the way. Right, enough of that nonsense. All guns blazing in the Premier League, and we're through to our first Champions League semi-final, which is against Arsenal. We will, of course, come back for that game against Arsenal. So, I'll see you then for that game, and we might come back for another Man United game. We might come back for West Brom instead, or we come back for Arsenal, and then we reassess what we do, because if the league looks like it's won at that point, with 3 games to go, we might just come back for the final game of the season. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have a think about that, but you know for a fact we're coming back for that Arsenal game. Or, to be fair, we could just come back for both Arsenal games and do those, and then have an end of the season special with Newcastle and Leeds. I actually think we might do that. You know what? I've talked myself into that. So next time, it's an all Champions League special. Leg 1 against Arsenal, leg 2 against Arsenal. Yes, there's only 1 game in between now and then. I don't care. I make the rules. I can decide what I do in my videos. So I will see you in a game's time for the first leg against Arsenal. And fingers crossed, we can get through to that Champions League final. We can go back and look at what the aim of the save was, which, if you remember, was win the Champions League once. That's the first thing we need to do to consider the save a success. But then we have the bonus objective. Talk more about that next time. But until then, remember to click this time. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to leave a like on the video for me if you did enjoy. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button as well. It is free to do so if you have enjoyed the content you've seen and you want to see more in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.